My name is Arpit, and I'm here on the behalf of Reject Software today to conduct this two-day workshop that we will be completing not entire, but most of the important topics that is required to start something in a front-end part. And if I talk about Reject Software, we have courses across different domains where you can browse our website and find out areas of different areas in the terms of tech. Like you guys can learn new technologies, courses, workshops, and everything is updated regularly on the website. And I am from a product-based company. I have almost 5 years of experience in a product-based company, and currently I'm from Delhi. I have a job in a Gurgaon in a product base again. I'm a full stack developer where I have mon stack, mean stack experience in building technologies across e-com, edtech, fintech, and currently I'm also in a fintech industry only. So that's again my overall experiences. And what we will be building in this two-day workshop would be a Start app where we will be making something related to this kind of page where we will be having a navbar, form, footer, page, what we can say, listing, components, the structure, entire thing from the zero scratch point. And if you guys know the basics, that's good. Otherwise, we will learn from the zero point. And if you have any doubts, just raise a hand and ask me to state at that point only. Do not wait. And pretty much, yeah. So before that, let's start with the basic things like what you guys know about it. What do you guys know about your HTML, CSS, JavaScript, Node.js, so that I can create a base from which I have to move forward with. Okay, so let's start with that. First of all, just start with basic thing. Tell me, guys, how many of you guys are very comfortable with the HTML part? Like, you know what is H1, what is div, what is uh, styling, CSS, basic. Not I'm asking an advanced one, but very basic idea. That would be enough for this one. Please raise a hand. All the people who have a very basic idea regarding the HTML part. Like they know what is tag, they know what is H1, what is H6, what is H2. Hurry up, guys. We have 7 people out of 13. We will go with the majority most of the time, guys. If anyone has any problem, then please raise a hand at that point only. Okay, that's great. So everyone know the basics, I'm assuming, uh, regarding the HTML part. Okay. Raise a hand, people who know about Node.js. What is Node.js or why do we use Node.js? Okay, one. Nobody else? Okay, okay. So we got our starting point. Okay, so let's first understand what are the different technologies that are present. Okay, so for that, let me just create a whiteboard.
Sir, could you please reshare the screen again? Actually, your screen is a little bit blur.
Mm, okay.
Yes, sir.
Seems I have a decent speed, Ritik. It must be from your end only. Okay, so I have shared again, and
Yes, sir.
let
Now it's fine.
okay, let's start. So for building any application, what are different areas a single application contains? Let's take example of Amazon. Okay, let's say we are making an e-commerce website, and what are the different areas that we need to know about for building something like an Amazon kind of a e-commerce website? Okay, so for that, let's break this into two parts. First is something that is visible to the users, something that is visible to the users. And there is something that is helping to make it work, uh, things go right. Okay, for example, if we are making a order to make a payment should be debit from your account, it should be credit on someone's account. Order should be confirmed, it should be notified to the seller that there is an order for him, for them. So there is something that is should be there, that should act as a backbone, and there is something that should be visible to the user what he is actually doing. Okay, so there are two parts majorly we can say in this perspective. One is front end, okay, and the second is back end. Now, if I talk about my experience, I am more of a back end guy, but I have a pretty good decent knowledge in the building the front end as well. And I can help you guys as well regarding what things you could choose as a developer. See, in the developer perspective, there is something called full stack developer that has a knowledge of both, but doesn't mean that he has to work on the both all the time. Okay, at one particular point of a time in any company, either it is any company, he will be either working on a front end part or a back end part. He will not be responsible for building entire thing from the front end perspective to the back end to the everything. Okay, so today we will be restricting our session to the front end part only. But if you guys want to know, we can have half an hour or 15-minute session on the back end part as well. Okay, in the front end part again, there are different things that we need to know about. So first thing is the colors, the buttons, the options that we have. For example, if you see this white this dashboard over here, we have the name, then there is a code of the meeting, then there is a date. Over here, there is a share button. My ID is visible. Then there is an option for the meet and everything. Okay, so all these things that are statically visible to us, that is again done by two people. Again, front end is done by two people usually in companies like Flipkart and everyone. But in companies like Paytm, Amazon, there is only one person responsible about both things. But in companies like Flipkart, Netflix, there are two people sitting in the front end part again. One is for writing this static pages, that there should be a name, there should be date, there should be code, everything. That is again called a UI developer. He will be responsible for writing the HTML part, CSS part of it. Make it responsive. Responsive means if I decrease the size of a screen, all things should adjust themselves. If I increase the size of the screen, it should adjust itself. So that is again done by a UI developer. Okay. Then there is again there is not very specific term for it, but there is a front end developer, that there is a position of front end developer again. So what does the front end developer do? That is the person responsible for making those things responsive, making those things change depending upon the user. For example, if I open a dashboard over here, if I open a whiteboard over here, this is showing me the title of the meeting. It is showing me the uh, XYZ code of the meeting. That will keep on changing depending upon different meetings that I will go through throughout the day. Again, the date will keep on change. Again, if I share something and people are viewing my screen on the whiteboard over here, then their icons will be visible, and that will keep on increasing or decreasing depending upon how many people are there on my whiteboard as of now. Okay, so to make the things responsive, personalized for the particular point of a user, that is a role of a front end developer. He writes the APIs, he calls the APIs to get the data, to show the real time information. For example, if you see over here, this is the code of the meeting, and this code is visible over here. So who is the person doing this job? A front end developer, not a UI developer. So these two people sit together and make the front end part for the user. And in the backend part, if I then there is a person called backend developer. Usually, in 80 to 90% of the companies, he is the only one responsible. But the rest 20% companies, there is one more person called database administrator. DBA, whose job is to provide data, whose job is to keep updating the data, provide real-time updates onto the data, migrations, everything to the data. That is a job of a DBA, database administrator. So in big companies, there are two people, but 90% of the time, there is only one person, that is a backend developer who has to not only update the database, but also provide access to the database to the front end with the respect of correct APIs, processes, correct way of communication front end can make to the database. Okay, so that is a role of a complete application, something called e-commerce content. Okay, now in the front end part, if I talk about technologies, in front end there are different technologies that are used, but few of the basic thing that is again going to be there all out. That is HTML, then there is CSS. In the CSS again there are different things, but ultimately the more or less the meaning of them is same. There is SCSS and there is few more, but what ultimately they do is they write the CSS only, they write the styling things only. Then there is JavaScript. Okay, then with these three things usually a front end is make, but there is few more concepts that are available, but majorly 99% of time these three things are used. Now in these three things, JavaScript is one that is making the things responsive. That is one that a front end developer, not UI developer, a front end developer will gonna work 90% of the time. UI developer will work on HTML, CSS, but a front end developer will work 90% of the time on a JavaScript. Now, for writing the sole purpose of the JavaScript was introduced in 1999. The reason why the JavaScript was introduced is because to make the web pages responsive. They want to move away from the static pages. What I mean by static pages is something whose information is not changing. For example, if I open Wikipedia, okay, so this is let me open Wikipedia or something. Okay, if I open India Wikipedia page, okay, so this information is static. It's not changing. There would be a someone sitting at the computer who needs to update this information. It's not changing itself or not reacting to my uh, user, not reacting how I am using this page. So this is the static page. And in 90s, when internet was just introduced, there was only static pages. Okay, everyone is working on the static pages itself. Okay, but in 1999, a JavaScript was introduced. Okay, and to make this pages responsive, for example, if I uh, open this, for example, if I coming like this is changing. Uh, Animations are going on, different photos are going on, scrolling is going on. Okay, although this can be done with the CSS also, but there are a few areas that JavaScript was used specifically. But later on, as the things go in advance, there are a lot of things that needs to be done. Okay, for making the complete applications. Okay, those applications include APIs, calling the APIs, showing the real-time data, changing the things with respect to user. For example, we do add to cart, we increment the things, we decrement the things over here, buttons, and on the basis of clicking on these buttons, the information should change. So all these things are done with the JavaScript. Now, with the JavaScript, doing these things were very easy. Earlier, it was done with the help of PHP, but now with the JavaScript, it's were very easy to do these things. In the JavaScript also, there are different technologies that were introduced. Okay, and right now in the market, two technologies are ruling the complete market. What is those two technologies? One is Angular. That will be our topic as well. And the second is, anyone know what is the second technology that is present in the market?
React.
React.
Sir, React.
Correct. So React is another one that is ruling the market. Now, what is the difference between them? We will find out. And why we are using Angular or why we should use React, we will find out. But before that, we should know what is JavaScript. Okay. So we will spend 15-20 minutes, good 15-20 minutes on the JavaScript. Okay. And then we will come to the Angular and React. Now, before moving to the JavaScript, how many of you guys already installed Node.js in your system? Raise a hand who has already installed Node. Okay, two people. Okay, so uh, what you guys have to do is you have to open Node.js. What is Node.js? We will find out, but first put it in download. Start installing the process, installation process. Okay, open this website, Node.js download, and download on the basis of your system configuration. Okay, and start installing it. Okay. Now, the purpose of the JavaScript was is to make the web pages responsive, due to which it is not compilation. It is not compiling in a system. It is not executable in our system. Means, for example, we know C++, we know C, we know Java, Python. A lot of programming languages are there. What we do in them is we write the code and that is executed in our system, that is processed, converted into binary code, computer understandable language in our system itself. But that is not the case of a JavaScript, because that is not the purpose for which JavaScript was introduced in 90s. The purpose of the JavaScript is to make the web pages dynamic. So it is not considered a programming language at that point of a time, uh, because it is sole purpose of the JavaScript was to make the web pages dynamic, nothing else. Okay, but as the time goes, JavaScript becomes very easy to use. A lot of people have very interest in it. JavaScript needs to be executed in a system or need to be executed in a browser as well to make it more close to the programming language. What happens? Every browser, every browser, I'm not talking about Chrome or any one browser, every browser made their own engine, I can say, software, made their own software to convert the JavaScript so that they can be executed in our system. So that it can be processed in our system. Every browser made a engine, made a software for it. And Node.js is again a different software based on Chrome's engine. Chrome developed a engine. Chrome developed a software called V6. I guess most probably. I'm not pretty sure. It's quite a time. Node.js V6. I guess most probably. Mm, Node.js was developed on the Chrome's V8 sorry, V8 engine. Yeah, V8 and not V6. Chrome developed a V8 engine. Okay, that is used to execute Node.js, to execute JavaScript inside our browser, inside our Chrome browser alone. There are other engines that are also available. There is engine called SpiderMonkey that is again developed by I guess I'm not pretty sure it's Opera or some other browser. Developed again one more engine. Every browser have their own engine, but out of those engines, Chrome's engine is very optimized, very fast, due to which there is one person who thinks that since Node.js as a programming language, uh, again, Spider Engine just the name of the machine, name of the software that one of the browser developed, like a V8 engine. There is one more software called SpiderMonkey. Okay, now there are other Spring Boot. I guess there is one more engine called Spring Boot. I'm not properly remembering this facts, but again, raw information, nothing logical inside it. Among those engines, uh, Chrome's V8 engine is very optimized one, very fluent one. Why? Because it executes JavaScript so fast that it shows the things very fluently as compared to the rest of the uh, engines developed by any other browser. And that's why most of the people today as well using more easily the Chrome rather than going with the Edge or any other browser. Why most of 90% or 80% of the raw users going over the uh, Chrome. Even I'm using Mac, still I have installed Chrome instead of using Safari and going through it. Although the Google part, the Google ID, everything is part of it. But apart from that, also the Chrome is very fluent, easy to use, and very light software. And due to this fact of the Chrome, one person, founder of the Node.js, thought this engine is very good, very easy to use. Why can't we use this engine and install it in our computer itself? Instead of installing it in the browser, why can't we install this engine? Why can't we install this software inside our computer itself so that JavaScript can be executed in our own computer instead of executing in a browser? Why can't we use the JavaScript to execute it in our own system itself using this engine? And when he thought of, about this, he made the software called Node.js. So Node.js is nothing, just a Chrome's V8 engine to help executing the JavaScript inside our operating system, inside our laptop itself. We don't need Chrome or any other browser to execute our JavaScript code. Now, because of this, Node.js started using not only the front end part, on the back end part as well. And now a complete application from the zero at point can be made on the JavaScript itself. And because of this easy and smooth execution of the JavaScript, few other technologies started developing on a Node.js, where Angular is one of them, React is one of them. Angular is made by Google to develop the full in a full stack environment of the front end, and React is developed by, it's a framework. I will talk about this in late detail in later, but React again a framework uh, on the Node.js itself again made by Facebook. Okay, so these are made on the Node.js, made on the JavaScript to be executable in our own system. So that's why we are installing Node.js, and after the installation of the Node.js, only we will be able to, write the code in the Angular or in React. Okay. So installation process, I guess everyone has started the installation. Anyone facing any problem as of now?
सो सर ये सारे ही क्या फ्रेमवर्क है क्या इसमें, जैसे आप ये बता रहे हैं नोड
Angular
जेएस?
framework नहीं है, React framework है.
ओके, रिएक्ट जेएस और नोड जेएस.
Node.js तो सॉफ्टवेयर ही है जो जावास्क्रिप्ट एग्जीक्यूट करता है.
ओके, एंड एंगुलर तो अपना नॉर्मल वो है.
Environment है वो.
ओके.
What is environment? What is framework? We will understand in depth little later.
ओके सर.
Okay. Now coming to the JavaScript. Now, anyone who doesn't know any programming language, सबको एक programming language आती है. Anyone who doesn't know any programming language, if you know C++, C, Java, Python, any of the anyone there who doesn't know any programming language? Okay, that's great. So everyone knows uh, at least one programming language. Can you guys write in the chat what programming language you are comfortable with, so that I can take references for those in for comparison? Python, okay. Rest of the people, are you guys comfortable in C, C++, Java? Ritik, HTML and CSS are not programming language. Java, JS, C, Python. Okay, so that's great. I guess most of the people are know about Java and the Python. So we will take reference from those only. Okay. So in programming languages perspective, uh, languages are divided into majorly two parts. One is strongly typed language, and the second is weakly typed language. What I mean by that? So when we take Java, we want to create a variable. We specify what kind of data we will be storing that variable. What kind of uh, information we will be storing on that memory space in our storage. We specify that in advance. And if we try to put any other type of information, for example, if we created a memory space called variable A, and we told a computer that this will be storing only number. Okay. After that, after telling it that it will be storing only number, if I try to put my name, if I try to put A is equal to Arpit, it will show error. It will say that there is a difference in the way the variable is created. Type of the variable is integer, float, or a decimal, but the information that you are trying to store is string. So that is, we can say, it will show error. Now, these are the things that is called a strongly typed languages because they check the type of the data to be stored in that particular memory. But whereas if we talk about Python, if we talk about JavaScript, that is not the case. We can store any type of data in any type of variable. It will not be checked and it will say, okay, if you want number to be stored, okay, let's convert it to number. If you want string to be stored, let's convert it into string. So that is what a behavior of a weakly type language is. And JavaScript, again, Python are the examples of weakly type languages. And because of these weakly type languages, the coding becomes very easy these days. In my times, we used to write code in C, C++, and the number of lines to do a certain process is very huge as compared to the same process that we used to write in JavaScript, in Python, because already there are predefined functions like to convert to lowercase or to convert to uppercase. A lot of things are predefined functions are there, but that was not the case earlier in the C++, in the C, or in the Java. Okay, now everything is smooth, everything is easy to be done. Okay, for example, sorting. For example, if we need to sort, now there are sort functions that we directly call and it will sort itself. We don't have to interfere it at all, or what kind of sorting method it should use. But earlier that was not the case. Now in the Python, in the JavaScript, development is very easy, and that is why now most of the things that needs to be done quickly, web application that needs to be done fast, we used to write the code in the JavaScript or the Python. If it is a machine learning part, if it is using an AI part, then we will go for the Python because that has certain libraries that is written in the Python, not in the uh, JavaScript. And for the rest of the purposes, entire applications completely based on the JavaScript these days. Okay, now I have told few things regarding the JavaScript and the Python. What are those? First thing is that it's a weakly type language. We don't check the data type of it. It's a very important point. Because of this point only, Angular is little bit different from the React. Okay, apart from the rest of the things, but there is one point of it. Okay, now, uh, okay, now, I guess everyone has installed Node.js. Anyone whose Node.js is still in installation process? Okay, so everyone has already installed Node.js. That's great. Okay, now JavaScript. Now JavaScript is very easy to use. Why I'm saying so is because I can write the JavaScript in my browser itself. I can open inspect and over here I can write JavaScript uh, straight away. If you see over here, I have set a is equal to 1. No problem. Then I will say a is equal to Arpit. No problem. Constant I have declared. Let b is equal to this. Then b is equal to 1. There is no problem. It will just convert the type of the variable and there is no issue. Okay. But in Angular, we don't use basically a pure JavaScript. We use TypeScript. What is TypeScript? TypeScript is to be, and if I talk about in the uh, definition, the definition you will find online. TypeScript is called a superset of JavaScript. TypeScript is called superset of JavaScript. What I mean by that, there is JavaScript, then there is TypeScript that covers the JavaScript part. But what I feel is that not actually true. The basic reason of using TypeScript is type checking. Remember, I told that we JavaScript is a weakly type language. We don't check that data type of the variable. To stop that point, to stop that thing, we use TypeScript. TypeScript is basically used to restrict the JavaScript's uh, unwanted behavior. What I mean by unwanted behavior. For example, if you see over here, here the B is what? B is 1, and let's create variable C2. Okay, B is 1. If I talk about C, C is 2. If I say type of C, type of C is string, and type of B is
Sir,
number.
in which editor you are using this?
I'm not using any editor as of now. I'm writing the code straight away in the Chrome itself.
ओके सो सर ये इसमें मतलब कैसे लिखते हैं मतलब अपन जैसे नॉर्मल तो जैसे कोडिंग जो होती है आई थिंक वो तो सबलाइम और इसमें होती है ना वीएस कोड में
Yeah, that's why I said the JavaScript usually executed in a browser only. That is not executable in our system as of now. I cannot write the code in the VS Code or Sublime because that is not executable in our system. Although Node.js is installed, we have not used Node.js as of now. So for this point of time, I cannot say that JavaScript is executable in my system. Then is it not executable? How can I write the code in VS Code, or what will I do writing the code over there? Getting my point?
ओके यस एक्चुअली मैंने इसमें कभी ना यूज किया नहीं इस वाले के अंदर मैं जब भी जैसे नॉर्मल जावास्क्रिप्ट का भी कोई कोड लिखते थे तो मैं उसी में लिखता था
उसी में लिखेंगे। अभी तो मैं बस पॉइंट्स बता रहा हूँ कि अनवांटेड बिहेवियर क्या है। कोड
ओके
नहीं
सर
लिखेंगे, अभी आएंगे वहां पे भी आएंगे। एंड अभी धीरे धीरे आगे बढ़ेंगे। Coming back over here, now you see the type of C is string and the type of B is number. Now if I say B plus C, usually any programming language like C, C++, Java will give us error. Type mismatch is the error that those programming language gonna give. But what is JavaScript doing? One is a number, two is a string. B plus C, number plus string becomes string, and it is giving us 12 instead of 3.
सर इन दिस हाउ इट्स सॉल्विंग लाइक बी प्लस सी मीन्स इसमें अपन ने पहले तो कोई नंबर डिफाइन नहीं किया था ना
यहाँ नंबर,
जैसे
यहाँ लिखा है ना B इज इक्वल टू 1।
ओके ओके सो इसके अंदर मतलब यहाँ लेट का जैसे क्या यूज रहता है बेसिकली इसमें
लेट एंड कांस्टेंट का डिफरेंस, दैट्स व्हाट यू आर आस्किंग।
यस सर ये जो इसमें आपने ऊपर लिखा है ना लाइक कॉन्स्ट ए इक्वल टू वन एंड फिर देन अनडिफाइंड ए इक्वल टू अर्पित
हम्म
देन लेट बी इक्वल टू अर्पित
हम्म
सो ये वाले
कांस्टेंट का क्या मतलब होता है? कांस्टेंट, व्हेन वी डिक्लेयर अ वेरिएबल यूजिंग कांस्टेंट, मैं उसकी वैल्यू चेंज नहीं कर सकता। मैंने यहाँ पे 1 कर दिया, और मैं जब उसकी वैल्यू को रीअसाइन करने की कोशिश कर रहा हूँ ना, मुझे एरर दे रहा है कि टाइप एरर, असाइनमेंट हुआ कांस्टेंट वेरिएबल।
ओके
तो मेरे को एग्जांपल देना था, तो मैंने एक नया वेरिएबल बनाया यूजिंग लेट, बिकॉज मुझे उसकी वैल्यू चेंज करके दिखानी थी कि इफ आई डिक्लेयर अ वेरिएबल ऑफ टाइप स्ट्रिंग, आई कैन स्टोर नंबर एज वेल, इट विल नॉट गिव मी एरर। दैट्स व्हाट अ वीकली टाइम लैंग्वेज मीन्स। गेटिंग माई पॉइंट?
यस सर
Okay. Now coming back to the topic, uh, here we are talking about B plus C. So B plus C, what is happening in B plus C is that the type of those B and C is different. If I talk about weakly type language, strongly type language, those languages will give us error. But that is not the case with the JavaScript. And due to this, a lot of problems are started creating when the large number of people are working together. When there are 40 developers, 50 developers working on the same piece of code, it will create problem because one developer knows that this variable is storing this, but other developer does not know, and he do certain calculation with those two. The result may be unexpected. So that is the problem with the JavaScript. And although 90% of the time this does not occur, but to be super secure, the new concept was introduced called TypeScript. The basic meaning of the TypeScript is type checking. It will give us error if the type of the variable C and B is different and we are trying to add them. It will give us error. So in a lot of places you will find out the definition of the TypeScript is a superset of JavaScript or something like that. Although it does not introduce anything majorly new that JavaScript does not has. It's basically a JavaScript only, but we say it's a superset of the JavaScript. Okay, in the definition perspective, but actually, what I mean by that TypeScript is the type checking. Ultimately, the TypeScript code is converted into JavaScript and then it get executed. Okay, so everyone clear what is the difference between TypeScript and JavaScript? What is the difference between weakly type language, strongly type language? What is the difference between backend and the front end? What is the difference between UI and the front end? Are you able to answer these questions till now or not? Anyone?
Sir, can you please repeat about like weekly type and
Okay. So what I mean by weakly type language and a strongly type language. In a weakly type language, there is no type checking. What I mean by type checking, that we can store anything anywhere. We don't need to specify that we need to store string only on a variable, or we need to store decimal only, we need to store float only. And if we try to store some other information in those variables, it will give us error. Those are considered as a strongly typed language. Apart from few other things, these are very basic point that I'm highlighting over here, difference between strongly and a weakly type language. But that is not the case with the JavaScript or with the Python, due to which development becomes very easy. Very less number of lines are required to do certain tasks as compared to the uh, strongly typed languages. And uh, although this has advantages and disadvantages, to stop the major disadvantage of different data type in the JavaScript, when a lot of things are developing on the JavaScript, very big softwares, Amazon, Flipkart kind of softwares we are developing on the JavaScript, and to resolve the issues that will occur due to the different type of the information those variables are storing, TypeScript was introduced. The basic meaning of the TypeScript is to type check the variables. Okay, so what I mean by weakly and strongly typed language, in a layman language, we can say in strongly typed language, everything is checked before compiling. But in weakly typed languages, everything is checked during execution. Okay, uh, again, that will be a new term. Coming to the straight away point, let's consider this one point for this session, that weakly typed language, there is no type checking. In strongly typed languages, there is type checking. Understood, Ritik? Ritik, clear?
hello?
Huh.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Okay. So I guess everyone is able to answer these 4 5 questions that we have till now. Okay.
Sir,
That
this React JS and Angular that will be also considered in front end or
yes,
what?
these are only front end.
Okay, okay. And PHP will be considered in
Front
backend.
end. No, front end.
PHP also.
Yes, we will come to that on as well later. Okay. Now Node.js is installed, and we will be using Node.js for installation of Angular, for installation of a lot of different things, and execution as well. Okay, let's understand few more things regarding the TypeScript and the JavaScript a little bit in detail. Okay, so what will I open? I will search something called TypeScript compiler. Okay, let's see what is this complete thing doing. So if you see over here, what is happening? Here it's saying the version of the TypeScript. Then over here, this is called javascript.js, stands for the JavaScript file. So what is actually happening is that whatever the code we usually write in TypeScript is converted into JavaScript before execution. Even for the compilation as well, the first code is converted into the JavaScript and then proceeds forward. Okay, so TypeScript is just for the development purpose. TypeScript is not used for the it's not present in the executable code, executable file. People who are able to understand Java, they know. Yes, Sakib. So uh, no, sir, I don't have a laptop. Ritik, there is no purpose if attending this class if you don't have a laptop. Sorry to say, because we will be doing the things side by side. I'm not here for the many other things. Okay, people who are here with the Java, they know that when we say executable file for executing a JavaScript code, a Java code, executable file is created, and then that file runs to show us the real output. And that similar things happen in the TypeScript as well. Whatever we write in a TypeScript, it first converted into the JavaScript and then executes. Okay, even the JavaScript cannot execute straight away in our system. Although in the browser it can, in our system with the Node.js, what actually a Google's V8 engine or a Chrome's V8 engine or Node.js do is they convert this JavaScript code to C++ language and then C++ to machine language. Okay, but in TypeScript there is one more layer added. It will first convert it into JavaScript and then rest of the processes same. So for example, if I write here constant a equal to 1, see the code is till now same. Okay, now if I say over here number, is there any change? No change. Now a is equal to Arpit. See, in JavaScript there is no error. JavaScript's code is straight away. But in the TypeScript, what is happening is it is giving me error. Cannot assign a. Achha, let's convert this to let. I forgot. Okay. Now, still it's saying the type string is not assignable to type number, but that is not the case with the JavaScript. So that's what I mean by type checking. Here it is saying that the only the number can be stored in the a variable. Okay, but we are trying to change the type of it. We are trying to store string instead of number. So it's giving us error in the TypeScript, but JavaScript, it's completely fine. So that is what TypeScript basically means. Okay. Even this is also fine. TypeScript is little smart now. If I write this also now, it will still understand that one is number. So variable is creating of type number. And if I over this, it will still give us error. Although it will execute because it will first convert to the JavaScript and then executes. And JavaScript it is allowed. There is no problem in the JavaScript. So it will still execute, but it will always show us the error. Okay, this is what I mean by type checking. Now, creating variables. Okay, in JavaScript, I will talk about JavaScript, and the things are quite similar in the case of TypeScript. Only we need to specify the type of the data that we will be storing inside them. Okay, so let's close this. Let's open JavaScript compiler. Not this. JavaScript. Not this one. Okay, let's go with this. Okay, so in JavaScript, we used to create variables of two types. Okay, I will go very basic things in the JavaScript because we need to cover the Angular as well. So we will start how to create variables, how to write functions. That's it. I'm not going any further in the JavaScript part. Okay. So in how to create variables in the JavaScript is there are two ways to create variables. One, usually there is three ways, but after 2018-19, we used to create only variables only two ways because third one is little bit scarier. Why? We will understand if we have time in the last once the today's target is complete. Okay, so I will only say that there are two ways to create a variable. One is using let and another one is using constant. Difference between let and constant is that I can change the type of the information, I can change the information itself, but I cannot do it same for the variable declared with a constant. Constant means its value remains gonna be same. The type of the value and the value itself remain same. There will be no change inside it. See, it will give us error. But if I comment this line out, it will not give us any error. It will execute. For showing the output, how can we show the output? We say console.log, and whatever we want to put, we will write it over here. And if we do it like this, it will be executable. Like we have used to have cout, we have printf. In Java, I guess there is something printf only or something similar, I guess. Okay, in C++, it's printf and cout. Okay, so that is the case of the how to show the output, how to create the variables. We don't need to specify the variables in the JavaScript. Remember that. Okay, coming to the function. So what is the standard way of writing a function in the Java or then with C++? The standard way is we need to specify what would be the return type. So let's say return type would be int. Then we specify that it's a function. Then we specify name of the function. Then we put round brackets. Then we put curly brackets, and inside the curly brackets, we need to return one on any number because we have specified in the beginning of the function what will be the return type. Okay, even in the variables, we write that there will be a variable. Let's say there will be a variable int a, or I guess I'm not probably remembering how to create a string. I guess character b100. Most probably like this we create strings and everything. Okay, so this is a way that we used to write in the functions in the C in the Java, but that is not the case with the JavaScript. JavaScript is straight away function, name of the function fun. Okay, inform variable like there, let's say there will be a variable called a. We don't need to specify the type of it. We don't need to put any value to it. That's it. Whatever we want to say, whatever we want to do, console.log a. Calling of the function is same. I just have to put fun. I can add put number. I can put string. There is no problem. Completely fine because here there is no type checking. Okay, there is one more way of writing the function called arrow line functions where we put round bracket. We declare a variable first. We put the function inside a variable. We declare a variable called uh, a that will be having a function round bracket and then curly bracket. Here there will be information b, and we can say b over here. Calling of this function is again quite similar to the old one. Only difference is this is called arrow line function and that is a straight function. Okay, both are acceptable for creating a function. There is a difference between them, but that is not the scope of this class. So we will not go inside that. Here I can do again the same. It will work exactly the same manner. There is no difference. Okay, so this is the way to create a function and to create variables. Okay, how to create them in a TypeScript, we will understand when we will touch the Angular, but this is a way how we write a JavaScript function or how we write JavaScript variables. Anyone has any problems till now? No one? That's great. So let's move forward. So when we install Node.js, uh, Node.js installed one more thing with it. What is that? Called npm. Called npm. Full form is Node Package Manager. Node Package Manager is basically something that is responsible for managing the packages. What I mean by packages? Packages means that there are, for example, in C, in C++, Java, we have header files. Header files has predefined functions. Header files has predefined functions which which we can use. For example, cout is one of them. Okay, C++ people know what is cout. Okay, cout is one of them. So like that, there are header files that we need to put on the top of the file that needs to be required first before using. Uh, Again, that is the work done by the npm over here. Here we can install anyone's code. I can install your code in my software. You can do the vice versa as well. Okay, so Node.js comes with npm, Node Package Manager. So anything that we want to use, including Angular, including React, and a whole lot of other things can be installed with the help of this Node Package Manager. Okay, if we want to install anything, we will just search it. We will say npm React. Okay, it will give us one link that will open something like this, and here there will be a command over here called install. We just have to copy it and paste it in our terminal and we are good to go. Okay, if I want to install Angular again, I can search over here as well, Angular. Let's search, we will find something. Angular CLI. There again, we just need to copy it and paste it and it will be installed. Okay, the version that is installed over here is 17, but we will not be using 17. We will be using a little bit old and stable version. Okay, so we will come to it little later. Okay, so that is what npm means. Now, what we were doing till now, we were writing the JavaScript code in the browser. We were writing the JavaScript code in online compiler. We were writing TypeScript code on again on the browser on the TypeScript compiler. But those things with the help of Node.js can be done in our system as well. How? Let's find out. So for that, first I will open a VS Code. I am using VS. Uh, okay, I have already shown you guys what we will be building. So let me just close this up. Okay, over here I have made a new folder, completely blank. Okay, for the today and the tomorrow session, make one folder, guys, and start working inside them. Okay, so over here I have opened terminal. How you guys can open? I am using VS Code. Anyone who have not installed VS Code in their system? Okay, everyone has the VS Code. That's great. Over here, I have opened a terminal. Okay, inside this terminal, I will be first checking is the Node.js successfully installed in my system or not. So for that, I will say node-v. Okay, in my system, the version that I'm using is 14. It's quite old. Okay, when you guys will be working in the companies now, you will not be using the latest updates, latest versions. Why? Because those are not stable. Those contains usually contains a lot of issues. Okay, that will be resolved by them later. But when a new version comes, usually there are some bugs, there are some issues, and we don't want our software to be crashed or not working because of those uh, issues. So usually, almost every company that I have worked with or I have known uh, work little bit older versions, and that's why in my system it is quite old. But in your system, it will be latest. Let's see what is the latest version, and I will install the same as well in my system. Okay, what is the current version? Okay, they are using 20. Okay, 20 is fine, but I will be going with 18 version because and for version change, people who have a different version or older version, for new version it's completely fine. For the older versions, they have to install what? NVM. What is NVM? Node Version Manager. So let's see what is NVM. I'm searching on the Node web NPM website. Uh, I guess this one is the one. I'm not pretty sure. Oh, let me just try it. Mm, Node NVM. I guess. Um, you can find out the command for installing the NVM. I guess Node. It's very easy. I guess you just have to do npm I NVM, but I have already installed, so I will just change the version. The version that I'm gonna be using is 18.13. So if anyone facing any problem below that, upgrade it. If you are above it, completely fine. There will not be any problem. So I will say NVM use 18.13. Okay, because Angular started working above 18. If I talk about React will work above 14. Below 14 of the Node.js, React will not work. And Angular will not work below 18. Okay, so I have moved to the 18. And now I need to check is the npm installed or not. So I will say, first I will say node dash v. If it is giving me version something like this, it means Node.js is installed. Then I will say npm dash v. It will show me the version of the node. Sorry, npm. Okay, that's great. Till now, there is no problem. The next thing that we're going to be installing using this npm would be is Angular. Okay, so what I will be installing Angular is how can we install Angular and what version that we will be using during this course would be is 16. Okay, every year Angular was introduced, I guess, in 2016 or 18. I'm not pretty sure with the exact year, but it was introduced by among those years by Google, and it is maintained by Google. Okay, every year a new version comes up with the new issues. That's very common. Every software has a bug. Okay, so comes up with the new issues, new work. So they resolve them. They introduce new things. They uh, deprecate few things here and there. Okay, but there is one thing that we need to be sure regarding the versions of the Angular, because Angular version is very important while you were searching the job or while giving the interviews. Why? Because basically there are two major versions that you need to be super sure before applying. Okay, Angular contains two major versions, that is Angular JS and Angular 2. Angular JS was the first uh, version that was introduced, and it was accepted by a lot of companies. So because of which Google started working on Angular a little bit more, and they come up with a new software called Angular 2. Angular 2 is completely different, completely rewrite of the code of the Angular. So it's not like we cannot work on Angular, we cannot work on Angular 2. We can, but things that are working on Angular might not work in Angular 2, or things that are working in Angular 2 might not work in Angular. Okay, so most of the job descriptions you will clearly see they will mention is it Angular JS or just Angular. If it is just Angular, it means Angular 2, 3, 4, 5 till 17. anyone, any version, completely fine. Those are all the versions after 2 is same, but before 2, 1 and 2 are lot. There are lot of differences. There is huge difference of way of writing the code, the way structure is made. Okay, so we will be doing Angular 2. Okay, we will be working on Angular version 16. We will be using version 17 is there, the latest one, but we will be using little bit old version Angular 16, because in Angular 17 there is a lot of version issues, and we will be just solving each and everyone's issue, and class will go off. Okay, so we will be installing Angular 16. How we will find out, but you need to be clear. There are two Angular: Angular JS and Angular. Angular means Angular 2 and forward. Angular JS means first version of the Angular, and there is a huge difference. Okay, so be very careful while applying the job. You are applying for the Angular JS or the Angular. Okay, okay. Now,
So what is the difference between like Angular and Angular JS?
आ, कोड ही रीराइट हुआ है, मतलब हाँ, VS कोड है जैसे हमारा यहाँ पे बटन हमारा यहाँ पे है, या कोई चीज़ हमारे सर्टेन पॉइंट ऑफ स्पेस में है। नया वर्जन जब आया उसका, वो कंप्लीटली चेंज हो गया, उसका सब कुछ ही चेंज हो गया। तो उससे कंप्लीटली कोड ही रीराइट है। एक होता है जब अपग्रेड्स आते हैं तो कोड वही रहता है, उसके कोड में कुछ एडवांसेस किए जाते हैं, कुछ नए फीचर्स इंट्रोड्यूस किए जाते हैं, कुछ ऑप्टिमाइजेशन की जाती है। बट दैट इज नॉट द केस विद एंगुलर जेएस एंड एंगुलर। एंगुलर जेएस से जब एंगुलर बना, पूरा का पूरा कोड ही नया लिखा गया फ्रॉम द जीरो पॉइंट, क्योंकि उनको ये एक्सपेक्टेड नहीं था कि इतना वाइडली वेलकम हो जाएगा एंगुलर। और उनको उन्होंने बस रिएक्ट के पर्सपेक्टिव में एंगुलर निकाला। फेसबुक ने रिएक्ट इंट्रोड्यूस किया, तो गूगल सेड वी विल इंट्रोड्यूस समथिंग एज वेल। तो उन्होंने एंगुलर इंट्रोड्यूस किया। उनको ये नहीं लगा था कि इतना ज़्यादा यूज़ होने लग जाएगा, तो उन्होंने ऑप्टिमाइजेशंस का सोचा, उन्होंने पूरा स्ट्रक्चर ही रीराइट किया। उसकी वजह से द वे ऑफ राइटिंग द कोड, द वे वी राइट द कोड नाउ एंड द वे वी यूज्ड टू राइट द कोड इन एंगुलर जेएस इज कंप्लीटली डिफरेंट। क्लियर?
Yes, sir.
सॉफ्टवेयर वही है, तरीका चेंज हो गया। तो हम लोग ये नहीं बोल सकते कि हमें एंगुलर जेएस आता है तो हम एंगुलर लिख लेंगे, एंगुलर आता है तो एंगुलर जेएस लिख लेंगे। डिफरेंस है, आपको
Okay.
थोड़ा टाइम लगेगा अडेप्ट करने में। बट
तो
एंगुलर जेएस की जितनी भी एप्लीकेशंस थी, वो जो पहले 2-3 सालों में जो एप्लीकेशंस बनी है वही हैं। उनको मेंटेनेंस के लिए एंगुलर जेएस की जॉब्स निकलती हैं। अदरवाइज एनी कंपनी, 98% ऑफ द जॉब्स जो है वो एंगुलर 2 ऑनवर्ड्स हैं। देयर इज नो जॉब रिगार्डिंग द एंगुलर जेएस। वेरी फ्यू बिग कंपनीज लाइक TCS, Infosys, who develop their software on Angular JS, they don't want to change the code. They don't want to write the code again on Angular 2. So that's why they are looking for Angular JS developers. But for the rest of the people, rest of the companies, they are moving forward to the Angular 2 and they are writing the code in Angular 2 only. Understood?
yes, sir. सो सर ये जैसे फेसबुक और ये जितने भी है, अब तो जैसे मेटा की कंपनी हो गई, तो उनमें भी इन्होंने अभी भी यूज किया है कि एंगुलर वर्ग।
फेसबुक के पास तो रिएक्ट है, वो एंगुलर भी लिख जाएंगे। एप्पल वाले थोड़ी बोलेंगे सैमसंग का फोन यूज करो।
ओके। सो ये जैसे कुछ इसमें मतलब क्या स्टैटिक की बनती है वेबसाइट्स या फिर डायनामिक भी बन जाती है?
डायनामिक बनने के लिए तो इंट्रोड्यूस हुआ, स्टार्टिंग तो पहले ही था HTML CSS से।
अच्छा।
स्टार्टिंग तो 90s में ही था। उसको डायनामिक करने के लिए पहले जावास्क्रिप्ट आया, फिर जावास्क्रिप्ट को एडवांस करते हुए एंगुलर आया, रिएक्ट आया, नोड जेएस आया।
अच्छा।
Okay, moving forward. So I guess everyone is clear regarding the versions, because there is a lot of confusion in the versions. It's like Star Wars. Star Wars के भी movies में issues है. Same goes for this as well. Okay. So installation part. Coming back to an installation part, what we will be doing is we will be installing Angular 16. So I will say Angular 16. I will say npm. I stand for install. Dash G. Dash G is basically uh, Dash G is basically installing the things globally in our system. इन एंटायर सिस्टम ग्लोबल इंट्रोड्यूस करने के लिए हम लोग ताकि हम कहीं भी यूज़ करें, मैं इसी फोल्डर में नहीं यूज़ करूँ, कहीं भी यूज़ करूँ अपने पूरे कंप्यूटर में, हम लोग डैश जी लगाते हैं। ठीक है, ग्लोबली। देन आई विल से @angular /CLI @16.2.10। Okay, so this will be the version that we will be using, that we will be installing. So I am putting this command in the chat as well. Please start installing this in your system while we will be moving forward. Okay, now coming, there is one more difference. Here comes the one more difference between the Angular and Angular JS. So what we are installing is Angular CLI. CLI is a way that we will make our life easier. For example, uh, the before React or Angular, what we used to do is we used to write huge amount of HTML code to make one page. For example, if we have certain things to be occurring 10 times, for example, we are showing products, and to show products over here, for example, here there are three products. So in HTML, what will happen is we have to write this one time, two time, three time, and if there are more products there, then we need to write the HTML code again, copy paste. Okay, so to resolve that issue, component like structure was introduced. What I mean by component means I will make small components so that I can use those components again. Means I will write the code of this product one time and I will tell the HTML, I will say that write this code three times. So HTML will write it itself. I don't need to copy and paste the code three times. So that's what a component like structure was introduced. And that structure is used in React and Angular as well to reuse the components, break the complete website into small components, and after breaking it into the small components, reuse those components as many times possible. Okay, so that you will write less number of lines, but the page is complete itself. Okay, so to make the components, to make okay, one more thing. Are you guys clear with class? What is class? I'm not talking about school class. I'm talking about coding language class. Anyone who doesn't know what is class? Okay. Okay. So what is class? So let's say we are storing our information. We are storing the information of all the people that are present in this session. We have Saket, we have Ritik, we have Prachi, we have Suraj, and all these four have their own mobile numbers, their own emails, their own addresses, their own school, college, job details. Everything is different for them. Okay, but what we know is that they're gonna have a mobile, they're gonna have an email, they're gonna have an address, uh, they're gonna have what do we say? They're gonna have job description, they're gonna have college, they're gonna have school, 10th degree, 12th degree, numbers and everything. We know that this is common, although the values of these things will change, but the topics are common. Mobile number is mobile number, although the number is different. So what do we do in this case is we define the structure that this thing, the student detail, a person detail will have these things. Okay, although the value of those things is different, but we define the structure of it. Okay, so that is what class here means. There are different things as well in the class, like functions and everything, but that is not a point of discussion. So let's restrict ourselves. Okay, so what do we do? By, what I mean by that is, I will basically say that there will be a object. Okay, object is made by curly brackets, and I will specify that there will be a name of type string. There will be phone of number. There will be email of string. Okay, and I can have as many details I want. Like there will be name, Arpit, phone, Then there will be email. Okay, and I can have it as many times possible. Okay, so here we have defined a structure over here, that this will be this object of a person, of a student, of a teacher, of a communicator, of anything, will have these details in it that will be unique to it. Okay, so that is what a class here gonna means. Okay, so in TypeScript, for creating these classes and components, all these things, CLI is used. Okay, it will make our life very easier. Okay, I will show you how, but that was not present in AngularJS. Okay, one difference that is there. Okay, second difference, I can say. Okay, Ritik, I will show you. I am just giving you example as of now. I have not created any class. I will create a class using CLI, then I will show you. Simple way is that we are specifying the structure of the information. What will be the structure that a particular thing will have, although the values of those structure will vary. Okay, so this is installed. Let's check is it installed in my system or not. Okay, so I will say ng dash dash version. So when I write this command, uh, what happened? Okay, I guess I have not started the project. Okay, so I will say ngn. Okay, when I write this, it will ask me the name of the project. Okay, ngn I am writing. Okay, nothing else. If I say ngn and I will write a command over here, it will ask me a question. What will be the name of the project? Let's say the name of the project will be cart. Okay, then it is saying, would you like to add Angular routing? Okay, since this is a small project, we are not making any big uh, software, so we don't need routing as of now. So I will say N. Okay, are you gonna use CSS, SCS, LS, SAS, anything? I will use CSS basic. Okay, so it is creating a lot of files for me. Okay, let's wait. It has already created all the files. Now installation part is going on. So if I come over here, there are a lot of files over here that we will understand one by one. What file, what information is storing. Okay, coming to the package JSON. Here we can see the versions that is installed. Its dev version is 16.2.10, but dependency is 16.2. Okay, so this is the version that I have installed in my system. Okay, so I guess I have put this version in the chat. Not there. Okay, so for installation, you have to write this in your terminal. Open a VS Code, open a new folder. In the folder, open terminal and write this command. After this command, you have to write ngn. That will ask you three questions. First question answer will be the name of the project. Name of the project is cart. Second question would be is would you like routing? I will say no, N. And the third question is what would be the styling? I will be using CSS, so I will say CSS. After this, a complete folder will be created. Okay, that will be the folder of Angular. Who has created this folder? Our CLI. ng is nothing but a CLI. But the main thing that you need to check is the version data we will be using, because different versions have different configurations, different processing. That's why I'm focusing a lot on the version, because Angular version does affect a lot of things. Okay, so hurry up, write these commands, create a folder, then we will come back to the differences between React and the Angular, and differences between in-depth differences between TypeScript and the JavaScript. And yeah, these two questions will be answered, and then we will understand the file structure, and then we will create our first component. Okay, so hurry up, guys. Raise a hand once done, and let's take 5 minutes break because from 1.5 hours I'm speaking. Okay, we will start at 4:25. Raise a hand, all the people once done. Okay, so let's start. Only two people have made the files till now. Hurry up, guys. Rest of the people, hurry up. Raise a hand once done. Okay, coming to the questions that we said that we will discuss. Three people. Okay, so we first need to understand that what is React. So React is made by Facebook. It's a library, a framework library made by Facebook to make the component like structure. Okay, just to reuse the components, React was introduced. Okay, it suppose it supports one-way data binding. What I mean by one-way data binding? One-way data binding means in the components there is a parent-child relationship. What I mean by parent-child relationship. So if you see over here, we have over here we have one component, two component, three components. All the components are same, and if there are 100 products, then there will be 100 same components. But if you see properly, they are siblings because they are similar to each other, and the architecture, they are present inside a same table. They are present inside a same table, so they are considered as a siblings. Okay, and what is considered as a parent to it? Table itself. Rows considered to be siblings, and table is called parent to it. So in HTML, we have parent-child relationship. If you remember the HTML page, there is body, there is HTML. Then inside the HTML, we have head and the body. Inside the head also we have different tags. Inside the body also we have H1s, divs. Inside the div we have spans, paragraphs, and lot of different things. So there is a parent-child relationship in the HTML pages in the front end part. Okay, if I over here also we have one HTML page for your reference. So we have a head and we have a body. These are siblings. Then inside the head, these are the children of the head. So there is a parent-child relation. In React, we can send information. In React, we can send information from parent to the child. From parent to the child means there is one-way data binding. But in case of Angular, there is two-way data binding. Means information can be sent from parent to the child and from the child to the parent as well. Okay, so that is one difference between React and Angular. Second difference, Angular is a environment, complete full stack environment. What I mean by that, it has its own structure, it has its own testing environment, it has its own flow, architecture, uh, uh, complete structure of its own. It doesn't depend on any other library, any other framework, any other package to make the Angular work. But that is not the case of React. React is just a library, and to implement different things, like to implement MVC, we require Flux, for example, to implement the MVC structure. Flux again, just a library. Okay, so that is a difference between React and Angular. Okay, if I talk about small applications, React is very easy to develop things very fast. It's a very straight away go if we have a very small application. So you will see that all the small projects, the small websites, basic websites, they will be all built on React because it's very easy to do the same in React as compared to the Angular or any other framework. It's very easy and fast. The bundle size is small, means number of files or number of memory it requires to be executing. It's very small, but that is not the case of Angular. So when we require full-fledged application, when we require big application that will gonna be used by lakhs and lakhs of people together, in those scenarios, we go with Angular because Angular has a complete environment to support that load. Okay, so that is the places where Angular is used and React is used. So that is a basic difference uh, that you guys should know. Or if anyone asks you what is the differences between React and Angular, Angular is a full stack environment and React is a framework library of the Node.js. Angular supports two-way data binding. React supports one-way data binding. It has a MVC structure. It requires Flux to implement MVC structure. Okay, so that is the differences that you should know about the React and the Angular. Now, what is the differences between JavaScript and TypeScript? We have seen that although the TypeScript code converted into JavaScript to be so that it can execute, TypeScript we can set the rules that this is acceptable, this is not acceptable, this need to be specified, this need not to be specified. And then on the basis of those rules, we can write the code. For example, in this structure that we have got over here, you can see that there is a file called tsconfig app.json. Here we usually write the rules that we need to specify for not this one. Yeah. Over here we specify the rules that is acceptable and that is not acceptable. For example, is strict allowed? Yes, the code should be strict in JavaScript. Then there is few more things. Is target module, mm, no fall through, no fall through cases in switch. True. No implicit returns. True. I can change these rules, and on the basis of these rules, the Java TypeScript will show me errors or not or avoid those errors. Post consistent casing in file. Okay, so these are the rules through which we write the code in the TypeScript, so that it can convert into JavaScript without causing lot of bugs, without causing lot of errors while executing the code due to different developers working. For example, here we are creating one function. I know you know that what this function gonna take as an input and what this function gonna give as output. But when there are huge amount of code and lot of people working together, you may not know. Even you will not identify that this is your own code and why you are writing that function and uh, why you are writing that function and why that those parameters are there. What those type of those parameters. Okay, so to avoid those things, TypeScript was introduced, and Angular is written in the TypeScript format. Okay, so this is one thing. Now everything is installed. I guess there is no issue on my end. If anyone facing any issue, please raise a hand. Okay, now we have answered the two questions that we have discussed. That is difference between Angular and React, difference between TypeScript and the JavaScript, and uh, what is the use of TypeScript? Why we are using TypeScript if we have already have JavaScript? Okay, these are the basic questions that I'm informing. These usually ask in what's there in import. Where are you seeing those import?
सर ये जो कोड है ना इसके अंदर ये जो आपने वीएस कोड में आप कर रहे हैं
हम्म,
इसके अंदर इंपोर्ट वगैरह बहुत सारी चीजें लिखी हुई थी ना तो ये सब किस
हाँ,
हिसाब से आपने लिखा
आएंगे
मतलब
आएंगे सब पे आएंगे धीरे धीरे। अभी जो फाइल में है मैं उसमें ध्यान दो, जो मैं नहीं गया हूँ उसमें क्यों ध्यान दे
नहीं आपने अभी इंपोर्ट वाले पे उस पे क्लिक किया था तो उसी में आप कुछ एडिटिंग कर रहे थे वो
रहे?
वाला कह रहा हूँ मैं
HTML
HTML तो ये आपने फर्स्ट बार बनाया था
ये
नहीं
मैंने
ये
अभी कोड को टच ही नहीं करा। जो फाइल में टच करूंगा ना वो येलो हो जाएगी। जैसे अभी इसको टच करता हूँ, सेव,
ओके ओके ठीक
वो
है
येलो वहां पे आने लग जाएगी। तो मैंने अभी तक कुछ चेंज करा ही नहीं है।
ओके 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 सर नाउ आई गॉट इट
Okay, coming back. Okay, so these two questions are clear. Now, the questions that I'm telling you throughout the session, these are the basic questions that a fresher would be asked if you are sitting in Angular interview. Okay, so be clear. Write out these things because these are very common questions that usually any person as an interviewer will ask. Even I used to go in every tier one colleges. Every year I go with my company for hiring, and I usually ask these questions as well. Okay. Uh, Coming back to the structure. Now, let's carefully understand what is the structure of the files that we have created using the CLI. Ng is basically a CLI of Angular to do certain kind of task for us. Okay. So here we can see there are few files that is created. There are few folders as well. Three folders are there, and the rest of the things are files. Where the most important file that we should be knowing as of now is packet.json. This is a heart of our structure, heart of our any project. Okay, because this contain all the things that are required to be installed. So, for example, there is something called dependencies. Dependencies contains all the packages, all the codes that are present in the npm library that needs to be installed for running the file, for running the project. Okay. Then there is something called dev dependencies. Dev dependencies basically contains all the dependencies that are required to write the code, to develop, not to execute. These are the things required to execute. Means without these things, the project will not start. But without these things, project will start, but we cannot edit the things. For editing, we are installing these things in our software, in our project. Okay, clear what is dev dependencies and what is dependencies? Okay, and over here you can see the name of the project. What is the name of the project? What is the version of the project? Along with that, there are few things that are written over here. These are the things that are used to do the work. For example, if we want to start the project, it is saying ng serve. When we want to make the executable file for our project, we will say ng build. If we want to test the project, then ng build watch. If we want to not, we will here the configurations development. There is a config file that used to develop when we build the project. That is for ng watch, ng build. Okay, and finally, if we want to test, I said that Angular is an environment. Okay, so it has its own test. It has its own way of testing the software. Okay, so for testing, we used to say ng test. Okay, so we will be using ng start for the development purpose. So let's see when we have created these files, what will
सर
happen.
इसमें ये क्या चीज लिखी है आपने, जैसे स्टार्ट इक्वल टू एनजी सर्वर बिल्ड
ये
वॉच?
स्क्रिप्ट्स सुन नहीं रहे मेरे को लग रहा है। ये स्क्रिप्ट्स है जिसमें कमांड्स लिखी हुई है टू डू सर्टेन टास्क। ओके, टू डू सर्टेन task. If I say npm
ओके सर।
start, so what will it do? It will run the script with the start that says ng serve. For starting Angular project, for starting the Angular project, we have to move to the project folder. Right now I'm in my Angular session folder. I need to move inside the cart project. Okay, so I will move inside the cart, cd cart, and then I will say npm start. So it will run this command called ng serve for starting any, for starting any project of the Angular. We have to write what? We have to run the command called ng serve. How can we start an Angular project? We have to write ng serve in that folder to start the Angular project. Now, when I run the command called ngserve, it's stating generating browser application bundles and writing few. It is basically executing all our converting our JavaScript code, TypeScript code to JavaScript, executing our what do we say? Our HTML files, all the basic logical files. Okay, and the project is started on which port? On this port. Okay, I've opened this port, and this is the default page that is opened by Angular CLI. Okay, this page will be present in all of your systems. Okay, this is the default page, and this contains a lot of information about the project. For example, which project is running, If you want to learn Angular, where can you go? If you want to know the CLI documentation, Angular documentation, developer tools, what is the next step? How to create a new component if I want to learn. So if I click on this, it will show me the command to run a new component. If I want to start new dependency, so ng add a dependency name. I want to run the test cases. So all the things that are basic Angular things you should know is present over this. Although I don't need this page. Okay, this is a default code done by Angular CLI. If I need to change it, what can I do? Over here, there is a folder called source. In the source, there is again one more folder called app. In the app, you will find out there are 5 files. And out of those 5 files, there is one file called HTML, app.component.html. And outside of this, there is one more HTML called index.html. Now let's see what is the difference between the app.component.html page or index.html. Let's start with index.html. In the index.html, what is happening? In the index.html is normal HTML page like we used to have. There is doc type, there is language specification, then there is head, there is body, there is closing tag for the HTML. And this is a common HTML page, normal HTML page that we create for creating any web page. Yes or no? Okay, now, but inside the body, there is a new tag written app root. We have not seen this tag when learning the HTML. There is no tag called app root. Then what does it do? If you see over here, app component.html, there is a component called ts file. There is a file called ts file with this app component HTML, app component ts. Whatever the HTML I will write over here, whatever the HTML I will write over here in this HTML to be used anywhere else. To be used anywhere else, I need to understand what is the name of this component. If you see over here, the name of the component is app root. And if you see in this, they are using this tag only. If I copy this tag and paste it again, save it up, I can see there it will come 2 times. It is executing, it is executed. What is happening? Okay, it's not annoying me, but let's do one thing. I will remove everything. Let's save it up. There is nothing. Okay, now I will say H1 or save. Arpid is there. There is still CSS. Okay, it is not allowing me to use it 2 times. No issues. I will show you what is a reusable component little later. It should allow, but anyways. Okay, so that AppRoot is a tag that is created by Angular, and all our code would be written over here, and it will be automatically get placed in this index.file. This HTML will not have header, body, nothing. It will have the things that we want inside the body directly. Okay, now what we are doing, we are creating our own tags, and we are writing those tags wherever we want to use them again. Okay, so this is a basic difference between the index.html and the app.component.html. This is a body of the tag, body of our page, and that is the structure of our page. Okay, but in the app, there are few more files that we need to learn. We will learn it later on. Okay, next we have here these 3 files are regarding the tsconfig, tsconfig.json, tsconfig spec.json. So these 3 files are basically for the TypeScript specifications. TypeScript for the testing. This is for the testing basically. This is for the executing, I guess I'm not pretty sure. This is for the executing only TSC is written. Okay, this is for the executing the TypeScript. How the TypeScript code will be converted into the JavaScript. Okay, and what are the rules to show the errors? That is contained inside the tsconfig.json. Okay, then there is a file called readme. Readme file basically contains information how to start a project, what is this project about, on which technology this is project. For example, this is Angular CLI of version 16. How can you check the project if it is running? A lot of things are there. How to make a component is written over here. We will use this command. How to build the project, build the executable file, test cases. All the commands are written over here. Useless file again. Packages, and I have already told what are the things that need to be installed, what are the things that needs to be installed for development is written over here. Then there is a file called Angular log, package log JSON. See, these dependencies also have few dependencies. For example, let's take Angular animations. Okay, I will come to the package log JSON. I will search for it. See, this animation also have few dependencies. For example, on which node version this is executable. And I close this. Huh. What are the dependencies for using this animation? That you for using Angular animations, you need to install Angular Core. Eh, Again, Angular Core may have few dependencies. If I search for this one, now the details regarding Angular Core. Angular Core also have few dependencies like RxJS, Zone.js. So these package log JSON contains dependencies of the dependency. Okay, package contain dependency of the project, and package log JSON contain dependencies of those dependencies. Okay, this is not important. If I delete this, completely fine. Means if, for example, if I remove this, if I delete this, there is no problem. I just have to, project is running. First of all, there is no problem in the project. I just have to do npm I, and because of the information present over here, the version information present over here, it will again create that file on its own. There is no problem in it. It means this file can be deleted. It's again, see, it's created itself again. Okay, so that is again Pacilog JSON. Coming to Angular JSON, this this file contain information regarding your project to be executed. For example, there is something called build. So when we want to make the executable file, what are the things that needs to be there in the uh, folders? What are the dependencies needs to be used? That are written over here in the build. Same got for serve. Okay. Similarly, different states में क्या क्या चीजें required है? What are different things that are required for executing that script written in the package JSON is written in the angular.json. We don't alter this file, but there are scenarios that we need to change. What I will explain just 5 minutes after this. Okay. Okay. Then we have get ignore, not important. Get ignore basically contains that files that can be deleted. Okay. Editor ignore again static data. Then there is style.css. Style.css is present inside the source folder, first of all. This is contain global CSS. When we want to apply some CSS in the entire software, in the entire application, when then we write the CSS in the style.css. Then again, this is not important. This is regarding the structure of the Angular. Then this is index.html. This is the file that finally gonna be executed. This is the file after compilation, after converting, executing everything. This will be the file that is finally gonna created and executed on our browser. Okay, so this is the heart, this is the brain, heart, body of the complete software. Then this is the Fab icon. Fab icon is nothing, the icon that is visible over here. We can put our own icon, there is no issues. Then assets. Assets basically, we try to put the files that are required, static files, like we add, what do? We add images, we add logos, and all those assets. Those are the assets for the project that are contained inside the asset. And finally, app. App is where we're gonna be writing the code. Rest of the things we will not change. Only app we will write the code. Okay, so app will contain our code. What is the structure of this app? We will come to it later on. Then we have node modules again. We have installed few packages. We have installed someone else code. So the code also needs to be downloaded. What they have written, how that is executed. So all those information considered inside the node modules. Again, this is exactly similar to what? Package logs. We can remove it, and when we do npm I, we will get it back again. Then we have is VS Code, the basic file, how to use, show the things on a VS Code and everything like that. Extensions, everything. Extensions that needs to be there. Basic, very basic. Not even things to be considered. Okay, we delete this. No problem. There is no issue.
Sir, what is this in this launch code and all these things?
Where launch code you are saying?
Sir, in VS Code when you clicked, na?
This
Yes, sir. Launch JSON
is related
task.
to the just the your VS thing. What to do? So, for example, if I it is saying, if I read this, it's saying if ng service run, what to do? Open the Chrome browser, launch, and what to do? Open this URL. That's it. So it's information to work on the for the VS Code. Okay, what to do when certain thing occur to the VS Code, not for us.
ओके तो ये क्या मतलब Node.js जब आपने इंस्टॉल किया तो ऑटोमेटिक आती है ये सब
ये
फाइल्स?
Node.js नहीं आता, ये Angular से रिलेटेड।
ओके तो ये एंगुलर जब अपन इंस्टॉल करते हैं तो ऑटोमेटिक आती है ये सब चीजें?
हाँ, हमने एंगुलर CLI में वो कहते हैं ना NGN, फिर स्पेस एंटर कर दिया था, फिर उसने क्वेश्चंस पूछे थे, उसके बाद फाइल्स बनाई थी, ये वाला NGN।
ओके तो इससे मतलब ये फाइलें अपने आप बना देता है ऑटोमेटिक?
हाँ, यहाँ पे देखो, ये रही फाइल्स, क्रिएट में लिखा हुआ है, क्रिएट VS कोड एक्सटेंशन का लॉन्च टास्क।
ओके एंड ये इसका क्या यूजेस में गिट कीप और ये सब का गिट इग्नोर?
ये गिट, आपको गिट के बारे में पता है?
व्हाट सर?
गिट, व्हाट इज गिट?
यस सर, ये गिट गिटहब का
हाँ।
होता है। इसके अंदर मतलब कि अगर अपन को कोड को उस पे करना हो, जैसे अपन कुछ डेटा होता है जैसे गूगल ड्राइव वगैरह में स्टोर करके
करेक्ट।
रखते हैं।
तो गेट इग्नोर में बेसिकली हम फाइल्स के नाम लिखते हैं, फोल्डर्स के नाम लिखते हैं, जो हम जब अपना कोड अपलोड करेंगे गिट में, तो ये फोल्डर्स को हटा दो। फॉर एग्जांपल नोड मॉड्यूल्स है, नोड मॉड्यूल्स किसी और का कोड है,
हाँ
वो
हाँ।
तो ऑलरेडी वहाँ पे प्रेजेंट है, बार बार अपलोड क्यों कर रहे हैं, बार बार स्पेस क्यों ले रहे हैं नोड मॉड्यूल्स के लिए? उसको हटा दो। तो यहाँ पे बोला कि नोड मॉड्यूल्स को इग्नोर कर दो।
अच्छा ओके, मतलब इट्स जस्ट वी आर गिविंग द इंस्ट्रक्शन टू
व्हाट टू
दिस
डिलीट, व्हाट नॉट टू डिलीट, दैट्स
व्हाट।
अगेन नथिंग फॉर द डेवलपमेंट पर्पस।
ओके एंड गिट कीप का मतलब तो ये हो जाएगा फिर इस हिसाब से
वो
तो कि
रखनी है।
कौन कौन सी फाइलें रखनी है।
करेक्ट।
ओके एंड ये इसमें जो ऐप वर्ग है ये क्या चीज है?
ये ऐप वाला हमारा फाइनल, वी विल कम इन टू दिस इन द एंड।
ओके एंड ये जो यहाँ पे ये लिखा हुआ है ts config डॉट, ये भी इसी का ही है क्या ऊपर वाले का?
ये
हाँ ये यहाँ से जो स्टार्ट हो रहा है ना, पैकेज डॉट जेसन रीड मी, ये वाली।
आप, मेरे को लग रहा है आप सुन नहीं पा रहे हो कि मैंने बताया था ये भी। आप ध्यान दो, 10 मिनट स्पेंड करे मैंने इस पे, आप ध्यान दो। ऋतिक, मैंने बताया। ओके, मूविंग फॉरवर्ड, we have Angular Webpack and we have Babel Webpack. This is again regarding this. Again, this file will only be created when we do ngserve. Okay. If I remove this folder, there is no problem. Again, if we do ngserve, it will be created again itself. To start the project, this file is for starting the project and executing. This file is created itself. So no need to understand what this contains or why this contains. Okay, coming back to the main heart of the source, that is app. So we have understood that there will be components, that there will be small components. Now in the small components, and every component there will be 4 files. What are those 4 files? First file is CSS. That will contain CSS related to that component. CSS related to that component only. Okay, then there is HTML. If we want to write certain code in that component, we write the code over here. Then there is app.component.spec.ts. This is basically file used to write test cases. We will not be doing the test cases in this scope, in this workshop. So this again a useless file. We will not be touching this file. Then there is a file called app.component.ts. This is where we will be writing all our logics, all the logical part, functions, variables, everything will be written on this file. Then these are together make one component. Okay, these 4 files. There is one more file extra. That is only one file that contains all the components that we'll be using. If I create a new component, there will be entry on this file. If I'm using any new module, then there will be entry on this file. Okay, so let's see. Let's generate one more component. I will open a new terminal over here. And I will say ng generate component. I will say there would be a folder of components slash navbar. Enter. Okay, I need to move inside the cart folder. I'm on Angular session. I will say cd cart. Then I will run this command. Okay, I need to stop the project. Okay, now I will say ng generate component, ng generate components slash navbar. Okay, so what will happen? See carefully. It will create 4 files and it will edit one file. It has created how many files? 4 files, and it has added one file. Which file it has added? app.module.ts. Let's come to it. Over here, what are the things new added? It has said that there will be a new component called navbar component. It is specifying over here. Okay, so this gonna change every time we create new component. Okay, now inside the app, there is a new folder created components. And in the components, there is new folder called navbar. And again, we have those 4 files: CSS, HTML, testing file, and logical file. Okay, understood. Ritik, आपको clear है file structure of the app and navbar?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Coming back now, let's write something in a HTML of the navbar. Navbar works is written. I want to use it. So I will come over here and I will remove this and I will say app dash nav bar. Close, save. Let's
सर
start.
ये HTML का ये जो कोड लिखा है ये नेवबार तो वही ना जो ऊपर आता है अपनी
फोल्डर बनाना है,
वेबसाइट।
करेक्ट। अभी मैं बताऊंगा वो।
अच्छा
प्रोजेक्ट स्टार्ट करते हैं। अब देखो यहाँ पे हम टीएस फाइल में आते हैं। टीएस फाइल में क्या लिखा हुआ है? एक ऑब्जेक्ट बना हुआ है @component। उस उस कंपोनेंट में एक ऑब्जेक्ट का एक सेलेक्टर और उसमें लिखा हुआ है कि अगर आपको ये वाला कंपोनेंट यूज करना है, अगर आपको ये वाला कंपोनेंट यूज करना है तो क्या लिखो? ऐप navbar लिखो। तो मैं ऐप डॉट कॉम्पोनेंट में आया और मैंने ऐप navbar लिख दिया। लेट्स सी वर्क करता है या नहीं। देखो navbar आ गया, navbar वर्क्स। अब मैं इस यहाँ पे 2 बार लगा देता हूँ उसको। इसको कॉपी करा, पेस्ट पेस्ट पेस्ट, सेव करा। जितनी बार चाहूँ मैं उतनी बार इसको यूज अब कर सकता हूँ। ठीक है, दैट इज द पर्पस of React or Angular to create reusable components. Okay, understood how the app navbar work. Over here, there is one more thing. कौन सा HTML file use करना, which HTML to be used, which style sheet to be used, ये दोनों स्पेसिफाइड है कि इसी फोल्डर में navbar डॉट कॉम्पोनेंट CSS यूज करो, navbar डॉट कॉम्पोनेंट HTML यूज करो अब navbar के केस में। और यहाँ पे navbar हमने लिखा और ऐप कंपोनेंट में हम जितनी बार चाहे उतनी बार इसको यूज कर सकते हैं। और ऐप डॉट मॉड्यूल ds में इसकी एंट्री हो गई है। सिमिलरली हम फुटर बना लेते हैं। ठीक है, तो मैं यहाँ पे फिर से प्रोजेक्ट को रोकता हूँ और मैं यहाँ पे लिखता हूँ नैप बार की जगह फुटर बना दो। ठीक है, वेट करते हैं, एक सेकेंड एक सेकेंड। अब ना इतना बड़ा नहीं लिखना है, जनरेट कंपोनेंट कंपोनेंट्स फुटर, इतना बड़ा नहीं, शॉर्ट फॉर्म में लिखते हैं। मैं लिखूंगा G फॉर जनरेट, C फॉर कंपोनेंट एंड देन कंपोनेंट्स स्लैश फुटर। ठीक है, तब भी ये शॉर्ट फॉर्म में भी सेम ही काम करता है। ठीक है, कंपोनेंट्स ने इसने एक और फोल्डर बना दिया फुटर नाम का, और ऐप डॉट मॉड्यूल टीएस में एक और कंपोनेंट ऐड कर दिया फुटर। ठीक है, अब मैं ऐप डॉट यहाँ पे नेव बार के साथ फुटर भी यूज कर सकता हूँ। फुटर कैसे यूज करना है, उसका टैग का नाम है मुझे पता ही नहीं, तो मैं फुटर में आता हूँ। एंड इन द फुटर देयर इज अ फाइल कॉल्ड app footer dot component dot ts. Over there it's stating the selector part, how can you use it, app footer. So I will come over here, I will say app dash footer, save it up, coming over here and project start नहीं किया है, let's start the project again. Okay, project is started. It should be refreshed. Okay, now I can see navbar works, footer works. Simple and straightforward. Anyone, any problem till now? No one. Okay, speed is fine. Anyone missing any problem? Okay, so let's move forward then. Now, I want to use the Bootstrap in my folder, Bootstrap in my project. So what is the procedure? First, I need to install it. I need to use Bootstrap and the jQuery. So I will say npm I jQuery, jQuery I need to install. Okay, ji. It is installing. And when it is installed, package.json will have again a new dependency added over here called jQuery. jQuery is added. I also want to install Bootstrap, so I will say npm I bootstrap. Now, now after this, I want to use the Bootstrap straight away to my project. Can I use it? Let's see. I don't think so. We can use it. Why? Because we have not tell that we will be using Bootstrap in our project to ng. Why? First, let's find out. Okay, so I will come to the navbar, and in the navbar, I will say I will remove this. Let's add a div. In the div, um, let's add one button first. Then we will change it later on to specify button. Press me space and then class button uh, button and button primary. Okay, Anyone who doesn't know what is Bootstrap? Anyone who doesn't know what is Bootstrap? Okay. Okay, only one person. Okay, let me explain in brief. So, we know, sir. That's great. Okay, so what is Bootstrap is basically we a lot of times we want to do certain CSS again. For example, we want a button to be in blue color. So every time I want a button to be in blue color, I need to write CSS again. To avoid that, Bootstrap is introduced. Bootstrap says use my classes. I will write the CSS, I will write the JS logic, jQuery logic, everything I will write it myself. Okay, you just tell me the class that you want to use. If you open the Bootstrap, it's a CSS library where you just need to tell what do you want to use. Just the name of the classes. For example, I want to use colors. I want here I'm using buttons, so let's go to the buttons. Buttons. Now in the button, if I want blue color button, and if I hover it, it should work like this. It's saying you need to say button dash primary. Okay, and it will start working like this. That's what Bootstrap says. Now let's start the project and let's see is it working.
सो सर मतलब इस वेबसाइट में से क्या कॉपी पेस्ट करना होता है कोड को केवल या क्या?
हाँ, CSS straight away copy paste करो classes के name और वो वैसे के वैसे work करने लग जाता है. We don't need to write the CSS for it.
ओके सर.
And that's what
तो
we have installed as well. For installation, let me just put the commands in the chat as well. First,
ओके, सो इट मीन्स मतलब इसके अंदर एंगुलर में अपन को पूरा लिखने की जरूरत नहीं है, इसमें तो अपने आप कर लेगा. एंड जब अपन नॉर्मल कोडिंग करते हैं तब उसमें
नहीं
कॉपी
वहां पे भी
पेस्ट.
हम यूज कर सकते हैं. बूटस्ट्रैप HTML के लिए डेवलप हुआ है, एंगुलर के लिए डेवलप नहीं हुआ. हाउ कैन यू यूज इट इन हाउ कैन यू यूज द बूटस्ट्रैप इन HTML? इट्स रिटन ओवर हियर. इफ यू गो टू द इंट्रोडक्शन, वो कहता है इफ यू वांट टू यूज द HTML, इफ यू वांट टू यूज द bootstrap in the HTML file, you just need to add this link. You just need to add this link in your project, and that's it. You are allowed to use the bootstrap in your complete project in the
ओके सर.
HTML file also. So it's not related to Angular. It's related to HTML. Coming back over here, we have started the project. Okay. Now, see, there is no CSS applied to it, even though we have applied the class correctly, BT and BT and primary. Why? Because in the in Angular, we have not specified that they need to understand the Angular bootstrap first for starting the project, for executing the project. So there will be a slight change over here. We have to come to the Angular and we have to go to the build. In the build, we have to edit this. We have to add few things over here. Okay, what are those things? We have to add some files over here. Let's see. We will go here in the bootstrap. Uh, in the bootstrap, we will go over here. No, we will go over here in the CSS, and in the CSS there will be file called this. Okay, so I will copy the path. I will copy related path, and I will say for styling, please use this as well. For styling, please use this as well. Okay, Ji, that's great. Now, same goes for the CSS, JavaScript as well. So I will come over here in the JavaScript of the Bootstrap. I will come over here in the dist folder, and there will be a file called JavaScript in the dist Bootstrap dist. There is a file source, I guess. Nope. There is a file bootstrap min.css. So there will be dist JavaScript dist tom util Yes, there is not required then if there is no file, but I don't think so. That should be the case. But let's see if it doesn't work, then we will find out the file. Bootstrap, min.css, min.js. Okay, forget about it. Let's go with the jQuery then. jQuery also we need to use. Bootstrap basically gonna use. We will not. So for the jQuery also we need to do the same thing. So we will come to the jQuery test jQuery min.js. This will be the one that I will copy the relative path, come to the scripts, and I will paste again straight away. And that's it. Okay, I have added two scripts over here. Now I will start the project. Let's see, can we use the Bootstrap now or not? Till then, let's find out is there any script for the JavaScript or not, or it will do automatically. I guess as far as I remember, it should do it itself. It should do itself if there is no file like this. Okay, so project is started. Now see, the CSS is applied and JavaScript is also working. So we don't need to do anything else. We just need to paste this link in the build of our angular.json. I have pasting the complete path, address, everything in the chat as well for your references. Okay, now this is done. JavaScript is working, Bootstrap is working, okay, in your system, and we have created two components, and we have used those two components as well. So complete till this point and raise a hand. Then we will move forward to the next part. Okay, hurry up, guys. Let's make at least navbar today. Not much then. Navbar, maybe listing few things or something here or there. Okay, so raise a hand once done, and let me know if you guys have any doubts. I have not written much of a code, but still, let me share the screen with you. Okay, I will be on that screen. You
सो
guys are.
सर इसके अंदर मतलब जैसे नैवबार ये जो बना रहे हैं अपन, तो यहाँ आपने केवल वो कमांड लिखी ng.bootstrap, तो उससे वो ऑटोमेटिक क्लियर हो गया, मतलब क्रिएट हो गया?
नहीं,
नहीं, आपने वो बूटस्ट्रैप के नीचे कमांड लिखी थी ना अभी?
बूटस्ट्रैप के नीचे कौन सी कमांड लिखी मैंने, कहाँ पे?
यहाँ पे नीचे लिखा था ना एक आपने के डॉट बूटस्ट्रैप करके।
एंगुलर जेसन में, यहाँ। ये
ये तो आपने वहां से कॉपी किया था फिर उसमें से।
हम्म
उसके बाद यहाँ नीचे भी तो लिखा था एक, वो किसके लिए अपन ने लिखा था फिर?
एंड इंस्टॉलेशन हमने इंस्टॉल भी तो करना पड़ेगा ना, npm आई, मैंने लगाया वो चैट पे। हमें पहले इंस्टॉल करना है, npm आई jQuery करनी है हमें, फिर npm आई bootstrap करना है, उन दोनों के पाथ ऐड करने हैं। देन आवर प्रोजेक्ट विल सपोर्ट bootstrap and jQuery in our डेवलपमेंट पर्पस।
अच्छा, तो बूटस्ट्रैप का तो वहां से कर लेंगे कॉपी अपन उस साइट से, वो जो भी
ये
कर
पहले
रहे थे।
इंस्टॉलेशन होगा तभी तो ऐड करोगे, पहले उसको डाउनलोड तो करोगे नोड मॉड्यूल्स में। ये डाउनलोड करेगा दोनों चीजें, फिर आपको नोड मॉड्यूल्स में वो फाइल्स, वो कोड मिल जाएंगे, फिर आपको बस उसको यूज करना है।
ओके।
क्लियर?
यस सर।
डू इट, लेट मी नो इफ देयर इज एनी डाउट। Hurry up, guys, raise a hand once done, then we will move forward. I'm targeting at least navbar and navbar and products. Let's see. I don't think products can be done, but still, let's see how far we can go. Or maybe let's go with the footer. Footer and navbar we will target today, and tomorrow we will start with the interesting part, conceptual part. You guys also need to generate the components, so I have written the command for those as well. Uh, Alok, silence is because you have to make these files and everything, and raise a hand once done. Um, it's Ritik, it's there is a latest version called 17.2. We are not going with the latest. We are going one level below the latest version. That is 16.2.10. So that's what we are installing and that's what we are using. Otherwise, there will be issues that are coming in your system. There will be issues that are not coming in my system. To resolve that, we are using a common version for everyone. Hurry up, guys, raise a hand once done. Suraj, any problem? Saket, Alok, any problem?
Hello, while installing Bootstrap, I'm getting an error.
Share your screen, show me. Anyone else facing any problem? Please raise a hand, ask straight away.
Is it
Yeah,
level?
this is the problem that I'm talking about, Ritik.
Hmm.
Because of the different version, the issues comes like this. Uh,
Sir, can
I
you
have
please repeat
installed
your voice is
CLI.
not
I have installed 16.2 only. This dev kit.
16.2.10, you
Mhm.
are using 12.
Uh,
Packet
16.2.0 should we use?
10, 10.
Okay.
First, you install it. Okay, for that, you have to do npm uninstall -g -angular and then the version that is installed.
NPM.
Uninstall UNINSTALL INS.
Sorry.
Uninstall
Un-
INS. NS I UNINS
oh, sorry.
space -g @angular AR -CLI slash, not dash, slash CLI @
Space at the rate.
no, without at 16.2.12. No, not this version. Packet, go to the packet.json. Let's see what exact version you have installed. Packet.json. Hmm. Move down. Yeah, move down. Okay, 17.0.6. You have installed 17.0.6, I guess.
Hmm.
Write that instead of 16.2.12. On the terminal, up arrow. Remove this and write 17.0.6. Enter.
This is dev kit, not.
Enter. Enter. What's the issue? The issue is with the. Just write Angular without a version. Up arrow, remove the numbers. Just Angular CLI. Angular slash CLI. Enter. Hmm. Okay, now run the command that I have put in the chat.
IG.
16. Write again same command with Angular npm I-g.
This one.
This one. Hmm. delete this folder that you have created project. You need to start make a new folder now.
Oh, okay. Okay, then I'll be doing that.
Then start again the zero from the 0 point.
Okay.
Let me share my screen again, otherwise it will not come in the recording. That's everyone. That's why we are using one version below the latest one, because there are issues in the latest version, and we need to avoid them. Okay, Suraj done. Sanket is doing. Renu has left. What? Okay, Alok, what is the status? Any problems? Okay. Five minutes more. Hurry up, guys. There are other people also struggling as of now, so let's wait for 5 more minutes, then we will continue.
Hello, 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 sir.
Yes, Suraj.
Yes, sir. So would you please repeat it? Like, what is the difference between like package.json and package log.json?
Okay.
Because I'm still like confusing. Like,
Okay, no issues. Common. So package JSON is containing dependencies that are required for the project. Package JSON consider is containing packages information that is required for our project. Package log JSON containing uh, packages required for those dependencies. Means we have installed Bootstrap. Now, the Bootstrap may also require few more dependency. I guess my screen is visible. Yeah. So let's say we have installed Bootstrap now. So over here, it's just stating Bootstrap. But there is also a possibility that Bootstrap also requires packages, right? Bootstrap may also using some other code, someone else code. So those information regarding the Bootstrap will be written over here. Package JSON containing metadata of our project. This is called metadata. This is called metadata. Package JSON contain metadata of our project. Package log JSON contain metadata of dependencies. So over here we will have Bootstrap as well. See, Bootstrap, node module Bootstrap, it also require few dependencies like it require Popper.js core. It requires this dependency, so this also need to be installed. This Popper core also may require few dependency. It does not require anything else, so it will not install anything new. So basically, things that these packages require will be contained in the package log JSON. So if we know the version of our package, we can easily get to know what will be the dependency of that package. If we know what is the version of our package, we can know the dependencies of that package. So that's why package lock JSON is not important. We can delete it, but package JSON we cannot delete because it contains the version. If we delete the version, we cannot know what version it is, so we cannot know the dependency as well. Understood?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Got it. Yeah. Thank you, sir.
ये 110% इंटरव्यू में पूछा जाता है. So be very very clear regarding this. Two minutes more. Hurry up, guys.
Can I share my screen again?
Yeah, sure.
I have made a new folder again, and navbar and footer I have up.
Okay. First, confirm the version. Come to the package version. To the version showing over there. 16.10 for everything. Scroll down. Dev dependency. Come to dev dependency. Okay, it is 16.10 for most of the things. Great. Now tell me.
When I do this npm jQuery, I'm getting an error.
Yeah, enter it. Installed.
Oh, it's moderate several. This is not an error.
No, this is not error. Anything that is not coming in red, that's not error.
Okay. When this came, I think I did npm funds. At that time, it updated.
Okay. Hmm.
Okay, then. Thank you.
Okay. So let's proceed with the navbar and okay, I have stopped it. Let me share it again. Let's proceed with the navbar and the footer today. And let's see how far we can go. Okay, coming to the bootstrap, let's select the navbar that we want to build. So I guess there is a navbar. Here it is. Let's select something straight away and simple. Let's go with the second one. So I will just copy the code of the second. And coming back over my navbar, remove this up, paste it my code, put the name of my project. Got. Okay, let's see. So our navbar is here. Let's change the color. Ternary, let's change it to primary. Cannot change it to primary. There is no class with the primary. Okay. We want something colorful. Ternary, okay. Syntax. Do we have something? Okay. Let's say PG body. BG primary. Let's bring it up. I guess I can override the color now. Not possible. No worries. Let's not waste time on the colors. Okay. Next thing we want is we need to add a badge over here to show the number of products in our product. Okay. To do so, we need a badge. Let's come over here. Badge. Okay, we need this batch over here. Instead of secondary, I guess there will be a primary option over here at least. Yeah, there is a primary option over here. Instead of new, let's say we have 3 products. So I will say 3. Okay, it's completely works. Now comes to the Angular part. Okay, see carefully, guys, what I'm gonna do. Everyone. Okay, now I'm writing 3 number over here, but this number will change depending upon how many products we want. This number will change. So what will I do? I will come to the navbar component.ts. Okay, and I will create a variable called product count. Product count. This will be number, and here it will be 3. Let's save it up, or let's save it to 300. Okay, I want to use this number. Now I will come over here and I will put 2 curly brackets, close it, and I will write my variable name, product count. Save it up. Let's see. Coming over here, 300. Now if I change the variable value over here, 30, it will change automatically as well. So now this is dynamic. This is now based on the value of the variable of its own component. Now the value of this depend on its own component. Till now, any doubt? Anyone? Because I'm gonna make change now, little bit change. First, let's make footer as well. Then I will show you one more magic, and then that would be it. Footer. Okay, let's go with this. And let's come to the footer, HTML, and paste this one up. Okay, in the navbar, I will say grand total. Okay, coming back over here, we got grand total. Here we don't want a search bar, so we will remove it. And here we will say rupees 10,000. Save. Perfectly fine. There is no issue. Now, container fluid over here. Can we change color? Perfectly fine. We want text color to be white. Text color white. Let's search text color. I guess that's only thing I guess I can straight away. I guess this should work. Text white. Okay, text color. I want white. Text light. Okay, text light I have to write. Over here also I guess I need to add class. Not here. Over here. Perfect. Over here, instead of outline, I want this to be just this. Perfectly fine. Over here, I want padding. Perfect. Okay, so my footer is ready, my navbar is ready. Let's make it dynamic. Again, let's create a variable over here. Total number 1000. Over here, I will come back over here and do curly brackets, and inside that I will write total name of my variable. Okay, so it's till now it's static. Why I'm saying static? Because we have put 30 or 1000 in the same component, right? We have put 30 or the product count in the same TS file. Yes or no? Ritik, clear till now? Sakib.
Yes, sir.
Now, what if? What if I want to pass this information from the parent to the child? I want to pass this information from parent to the child. How can I do it? Let's find out. First, we need to find out who is the parent. We can clearly see we have called these two components inside the app route, app component. So the parent will be app component. Okay, in the parent, let's create these variables. I will write it over here. Let's have uh, product count of number 3, total of number 100. Save. Now I want to pass this information from the parent to the child. From the parent to the child. How can I do it? Why this is showing error? Okay, we have put this. Okay, now I will go to the HTML and I will pass it over here. I will say, hey navbar, there will be called product count, which will be equal to what? Product count. Let's save. If we do it something like this, what will happen? If we do something like this, what will happen? Anyone, any idea? We have to pass it in the square brackets. Still, it's showing yellow line. Let's hover. Why it's showing yellow line? The attribute name is in lower case. Must be in lower case. It's in lower case only. Okay. Anyways, we need to specify the same thing to the navbar that there will be an input. To remove this yellow line, basically we will tell that there will be a input. Okay. So what that we will come to the navbar component yes, and over here we will have something called input. So I will say @input. When I say @input, it will automatically import it over here, and I will say there will be called product count of number. That's it. I will remove it from here. Let's specify that by default it will be 0. Okay, let's save. Okay, I need to call it as a function. Okay, let's save it up. Now what will happen? Now we have created a variable in app.component.ts. We have passed that parameter from the parent to the child of the navbar. And in the navbar, we have tell that it will expect a variable called product count from its parent. And after getting a variable, we are using it over here. I will repeat. Okay, let's see is it working or not first. String is not assignable to a number. Okay, that is not a issue. It is saying 30. Have we created 30 only? I don't think so. We have created 3. So there must be error. Is error. The type string is not assignable to type number, product count. Okay. we are not assigning is it's showing us this error. Product count. Why it's showing this error? Let's try to put it in a square brackets or directly. Like this. I guess this should work. It's still not working. Product count. It should work. Why it's giving us errors? Okay. Okay, now the property event have two-way binding product count or not this. Okay. Now, okay, now it's worked correctly and it's showing 3, but we have written the same earlier as well. I don't know why it's showing error that time. Okay, now what we have done, we have created a variable in the parent and we are passing that variable from the parent to the child, and then the child we are using it. Let's do it again. So we have created a variable called total and we need to pass it to the child. So we will say footer. There will be a variable called total, which will be equal to total. Okay, it will show us error. Why? Because in the footer, we have not tell that there will be an input. So we will come over here. We will say add the rate input. There will be total of number. Otherwise, it will be 0. I will be remove this and save it up. And since we have added total over here, this gonna work. And this way we are passing the information from the parent to the child. Understood? Saket, don't forget about the code. We will code it again tomorrow. But understand the concept. This is one-way binding that I'm introducing. That is present in the React as well. Okay, one-way binding. We are binding the data from the parent to the child. Suraj, Ritik, clear?
Yes, sir.
Ritik,
Yes, sir.
got it. Alok. Okay, I'm repeating it again. What are the different steps I have done to create this, to make it work? So first of all, I created a component. In the component, written the static HTML. First step. Second step, what I have done, I have made a variable in the TS file of it. I have made a variable in the TS file of it and tell HTML that this variable will be dynamics using the double curly brackets. Okay, that's the second step. Third step, I go to the parent. I found out who is the parent. I found out that r.component is the parent. So I go to the parent TS file and I created the same variable again. I created the same variable again. Good. Then I go to the HTML file of the parent and I told that tags, I told those components that I will be sending you one information, that I will be sending you some information. The information contains what? Information contains that there will be a variable called product count. There will be a variable called product count that you should expect. And the information in the variable will be of the variable of this parent. But if I don't mention this in the child, if I don't put the message in the child that you should expect some input, that you should expect some input, in that scenario, what will happen? It will give us error. So I go to the child TS file. In the child TS file, I imported a input tag. input derivative. This is called derivative. Okay, I imported this derivative and told that this component that there will be one parameter coming to you. There will be one parameter coming to you that will be called product count. This name and this name should be same. If this is different, then it will give us error. I will show you the error tomorrow. Okay. And type of that variable will be number. Type of that variable will be number. And if value doesn't come, put it 0. If the value doesn't come, put it 0. Okay. Then this will not give us error because I have told the child component. I have told the child component that there will be a parameter coming to you. There will be an input coming to you. Here we are passing the information one way from the parent to the child. There is two-way data binding in the Angular. Means information can also be passed from the child to the parent. How we will identify tomorrow. But here what we have done, we have passed one-way information, one-way data from the parent to the child. Okay, and then I am using that same variable.
Sir, can you please repeat that last 2 3 parts? Actually, the voice was breaking, so I was unable to understand.
From where I should repeat?
Sir, from the navbar and footer dot component part.
Okay, so what I was saying is that I have created variables in the parent. Now I want to pass this information from the parent to the child. So what I have done, I have told them that there will be a variable called product count. There will be a parameter called product count, and the value of that parameter will be equal to this variable present in my component TS. Okay, but this will give me error. Why? Because I have not tell the child that it should accept one int parameter. I should also tell the child component that there will be an input. Please wait for that input. So I go to the child TS file, navbar's TS file, and tell that at the rate input there will be one input which will called product count. The type of that variable will be number, and if that parameter does not come, if that parameter does not come, this variable will be equal to 0. Clear? Ritik, I guess it was you. One-way data binding, sending a data from the parent to the child. Clear? Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So let's wind up till this point. Okay, I will share the code tomorrow. First, you guys will come up with the footer and number with me. Then I will move forward tomorrow. But before that, let me know, guys, what is what are the doubts you have till to this point? Let's clear the doubt and wind up today. Any doubts, anyone? Any suggestions? Any ideas? Anything?
सर इसकी रिकॉर्डिंग एंड ऑल हमें मिलेगी क्या फॉर प्रैक्टिस पर्पस?
बिल्कुल
बिकॉज मैं
मिलेगी,
अभी
आपको मेल आएगा।
ज्यादा वैसे प्रॉपरली प्रैक्टिस जो है नहीं कर पाया क्योंकि मेरे पास अभी क्या प्रॉपर लैपटॉप वर्जन नहीं है।
रिकॉर्डिंग मिलेगी, मेल आएगा।
अच्छा, एंड ये क्या कल भी रहेगी क्लास या फिर कल नहीं है?
कल भी है क्लास।
तो फिर ये सेम ही रहेगा या क्या कुछ और
कल इसको कंप्लीट करेंगे प्रोजेक्ट को।
अच्छा, सेम टाइम पे रहेगी या कोई डिफरेंट टाइम?
सेम टाइम पे रहेगी।
ओके ओके सर, एंड ठीक है, अब मेरे को इसका रिकॉर्डिंग एंड इसका कोड भी आएगा इसमें या फिर?
कोड भी आएगा, आज का नहीं आएगा, कल एक साथ आएगा।
अच्छा, दोनों का एक साथ होके आ जाएगा।
हम्म।
ओके ओके सर, एंड सर इन फ्यूचर जैसे कभी कुछ प्रॉब्लम होती है, अभी तो खैर वर्कशॉप में, तो अगर कोई डाउट्स वर्क होते हैं तो मैं कैसे पूछ सकता हूँ, मतलब वाया मेल या फिर कैसे?
You have to contact Regex regarding it. I work as an instructor over there. I have a full-time job as well. So
सर योर वॉइस इज ब्रेकिंग एक्चुअली।
it's not from my end, Ritik.
सर कैन यू प्लीज रिपीट वंस?
You need to contact Reject Software. They will guide you how to contact the instructor. I might not be available because I have a full-time job as well, but somebody else will be there to resolve your issues.
Okay, sir, no issue.
Hello, sir.
Hi, Suraj. Yes.
So there is one only basic doubts. Like, could you please tell me like what is the difference between relative path and absolute path? Because like now when we have an angular.json file, right? So in that time we have copied the relative path of Bootstrap and jQuery, right? So could
Correct.
you please tell me like what is the difference between relative path and absolute path?
Perfect. Okay. Can you tell me how I am related to you? You contacted Regex. I work at Regex, and that's how you know me, right?
Yes, sir.
So the relative part would be Regex, then Arpit. Correct.
Okay.
What would be the correct path? Jaipur, Regex Software, Instructor, Arpit. Understood? Relative means how, where we are right now. From this point, how you are related. And normal path, complete path would be from 0th point, how you are related. Maybe you are at second step, then relative part would be from second step to 10th step, and complete part would be from 0th step to 10th step. Since we need to give address, since we need to give address, the path over here from the Angular JSON file, from the Angular JSON file to that file, from the second step to the 10th step only. So I have copied relative path. I don't need to give complete path because complete path in my system it would be different. In your system it would be different. If we're gonna deploy this on a server, it would be different. Getting my point?
Yes, sir.
But from
Yeah.
the second to the 10th, it will be same. But first and second will vary depending upon on which system I'm working on.
Okay. Yes, I got it, sir. Yeah. Thank you so much, sir, for your response.
Okay. Anyone else? Any issues? Any problems? Is
Thank you so much, sir.
we need to speed up? We need to slow down? Okay, then let's wind up for today. We will meet tomorrow. We will complete the navbar and footer, and then we will move to the more interesting stuff because over there we will be writing logics. As of now, we are not writing logics, and as a developer, everyone want to write logics. So let's meet tomorrow, and we will start writing the logics. Okay, hello, welcome.
Thank you so much, sir, for this interesting session.
Yeah. Okay, so if you guys don't have any doubts, you guys can leave. If anyone want to talk to me, you guys can stay.
Okay, so sir, you are here in like Jaipur office or what?
I have a full-time job at the product-based company, so I'm from Delhi. I work part-time over here.
Okay. So in which company you are working like right now?
I'm not supposed to show that information.
Okay, sir, no issue. Thank you.
Any doubts, you guys, Santosh, Saket? If not, you guys are free to leave.
Sir, can you show those four code snips once? I will take a screenshot.
Yeah, sure. Okay, this is navbar.component. So do I move to the next file? Yes or no? Done. Screenshot part. Okay.
Sorry, it was on mute. Yeah, done.
Okay. Navbar.component.html.
Done.
app.component.ps.
Done.
App.component.html.
Yeah, done.
Footer.component.ts.
We didn't change anything here. I think only HTML.
No, there is a change. I have added an input over here. It's not showing yellow, but there is a change.
Oh,
Done.
done.
And then finally the HTML file of it.
Yeah, done.
Okay, that's it.
Okay. Thank you, sir.
Santosh, any doubts? Okay, then let's find up.